farmers don't just feed us, they manage our landscapes too.
I can see the ponies are heading towards us now.
Which means they sometimes do crazy stuff, like this.
Let's go! Come on!
We're joining Gareth Wyn Jones, other farming families and volunteers on a fast and furious feral pony roundup. The ancient Carneddau ponies roam wild across 27,000 acres of mountainous terrain in North Wales. The environment has moulded them, and they have moulded the environment.
Everybody that's here for the first time, please go with somebody that's been gathering for many years, so you've got an idea of what you're doing. We don't want people to be standing in the wrong place.
To have any hope of bringing these ponies down for a health check, it's going to require cunning, coordination and a community effort to stay one step ahead of them.
Up here, yeah?
Even when there's a gale force wind, lashing rain and a mountain to climb, Gareth and his family still make a point of marking Remembrance Sunday.
It's important, even when we're up here with the youngsters and things, that we don't forget the people that lost their lives for us to have our freedom. You go with Carol. The whole idea of this is that all the quads are a big fishing net, so we put the fishing net out, and as we're bringing in the ponies closer, the walkers will be intricate and a big part of the gathering, because there's places we can't go with our bikes, with the quads, with the two-wheelers. So by bringing them all into this like funnel and then sending them down underneath these pylons onto Carneddau, once we've got them on the mountain right behind us here, hopefully we're then ready to head down. But it is like a piece of string, you know, you never how many you're going to get, how long it's going to take. It's a difficult operation, but there's some good people here today. A lot of bikes, a lot of walkers, so we're just crossing fingers for a really good gathering.
Okay, for the bikes, important, you would have used horses in the past?
Listen, gathering 27,000 acres, you know, with horses, that's what we used to do years ago. Things have changed, quads are here now, two-wheelers. We've got people that have been coming since they're children. It's big experience for them, but we've got to make sure that we're gathering the ponies in a way that doesn't stress them out, doesn't upset them. But this is the only way today, is to get them off the mountain with these vehicles.
Can't use the Gareth Wyn Jones helicopter for this then?
Maybe the way my YouTube and Facebook channel, I might be doing it by helicopter. It'll be the Australian, New Zealand type, or Canadian, American, you know, they've used them out there. I just love this way of gathering, you know, it's a connection with the people. This is not just a gathering of ponies, it's a gathering of people. And I think, you know, society loses that. Deep down, we're hunter-gatherers, and when you bring people together to do something like this, it means something, it connects them, and it gives them a sense of purpose. A lot of these people will have nothing to do with the ponies and have only come here once or twice, or maybe their first time, you know, but they'll go away with a sense of achievement and have done something that's unique, special, and an ancient tradition that should be protected and kept for future generations. These ponies are amazing. We'll talk more about them later on, but they are special.
The gathering has not been without its critics. However, for the past 15 years, a host of academics have been part of this winter ritual. They recognise the benefits to individuals and to the herd.
I don't like going to the dentist, right?
No.
My dog doesn't like going to the vet.
Yeah.
But I still go to the dentist and I still take my dog
Because
to the
we
vet.
have to.
Because what's the alternative is, well, you just don't do it. What would be the alternative with these guys? Just leave them and they'll carry on overpopulating and the resources get less. And so I think you think about it purely from like a health checking perspective and from trying to avoid overpopulation. This is necessary.
Yeah.
It's necessary from a social perspective, from a cultural perspective, from a historic perspective, but it's also necessary from a health perspective as well.
Yeah. We should be proud of what our families and our forefathers have done to protect these ponies, because these are the building blocks of a lot of the horses and the ponies in the UK. Their closest relative is the Icelandic pony. This is what you're looking at, is Welsh living history right in front of you. And it's a living, working landscape, and we have to remember that. So we try to have as little interference and interaction with these ponies as we possibly can.
Once the ponies are manoeuvred down the valley, the sun comes out and the pace slows. This has been done hundreds of times before, and it feels when they get down here, they relax and go along for the ride, just like generations have done before. Gareth brings the last of the ponies through the lanes and tracks up to his farm and into a field to graze.
Afternoon! We are taking a lot up now. We're going to be looking at them, give them a quick health check, and then we're going to be taking a couple of colt foals off, seeing what we've got as filly foals, and literally just sorting, cutting the tails and getting them ready. Yeah, most of them, 90% of these will go back to the mountain. So we've got a guy that's going to pick 9 up, which off to another conservation grazer. We've got them in Lake Fynwy, we've got the 100 of them in Anglesey, on the sand dunes in Llanwyn. So they've gone everywhere really, literally, across the country.
They're not big enough to ride, are they?
Oh, we used to break these, I used to ride these. This is one of the best ponies when I was a kid. You couldn't get a better riding pony than this for children. They're absolutely amazing. Good natured, and once you take them out of their social groups now, you know, they are a different creature, and they will take to whoever takes them out. So that person, you know, will be their best friend then forever. They're beautiful creatures.
Next, it's up and into the farmyard. Here they can be checked over and given that all-important haircut. Not sure that's his natural colour.
Yeah, cutting of the tail is really important, so we know that the ponies have been in, and it's a health check. And during the winter, when the snow comes, the ice balls can, you know, cause a problem for the ponies because it'll collect on the long tails. So that's why we're cutting them. And of course, when we're gathering for the next season, we know which ones have been in. So when you see the ones with the really long tails, they haven't been in for a couple of years. Yeah. Up.
Jess loves being part of this gathering and this community, and has great affection for these wild Welsh ponies.
There's a lot of people in the UK who absolutely adore native breeds, but yet there's an awful lot of people who aren't aware that this pony breed even exists. But what I've actually noticed with these guys, and I don't know whether or not it's because they're brought up in kind of like these social dynamics where, you know, where they live with the stallion and the mares and potentially their siblings for an extended period of time, but you tend to end up with these really, really, really well-rounded ponies that have the opportunity to become incredibly well-rounded adults in domestic homes. And I don't know whether or not it's kind of the semi-feral aspect that puts people off, but I think if we can get more interest in the breed and get more people using them as kids riding ponies, then it might increase the profile and therefore protect the breed even more. So I think we can't quite look at it as, you know, they're just going to be useful as conservation, or they're just going to be useful for, you know, for studying things in terms of science. But I think, you know, their usefulness as kids riding ponies really needs to get a little bit more interest as well.
There's those that talk conservation, and there are those that do conservation. This is definitely the latter.